it's just so nice to have that thinking done ahead of time. And really, for something to be a tradition, that means doing it more than once. Hello, and welcome to the Simply Convivial podcast. Convivial means enjoying life together, and that's the hospitable atmosphere that we want to create in our homes, especially during the holidays, which are coming up sooner than we realize. I'm Mystie Winckler, homemaker, homeschool mom, and grandma. And I'm joined today by my team that helps me run Convivial Circle, Stefani Mons and Leisa Moulton. Inside Convivial Circle, we help overwhelmed Christian moms restore joy and order in their homes so they can enjoy their families and glorify God. And what better time to work on making that happen than during Thanksgiving and Christmas? So, we're going to talk today about how we plan our holidays, what we write down, where we keep it, how we reference that, especially when it comes to presents and food. Those are the two big things. So, Stephanie, you want to start? Do you have strategies for figuring out presents for Christmas and how much you get, how many things and when and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, it's a lot easier now that they're all teens. And my boys, especially, they just prefer telling me what to get them for Christmas. So I have to go back in my memory to before they were so involved in the process. And I would literally make a spreadsheet because I had a budget that I was spending. And honestly, even though we make more money now than we did like 15 years ago, we haven't really changed the Christmas budget. So I'm like, "Well, it doesn't need to be this huge, crazy affair." Like, honestly, we spend between like 40 and $60 on each kid for their presents. Like that's not counting stockings and stuff. But we don't spend a lot on it. I mean, I know people that spend thousands and it's like, no, unless it's something really special happening, we keep it really low key, right? Makes it easier for me, way less stressful. But I would just make a spreadsheet. I would ask them what they want. I would like find out, okay, that's at Walmart that I'm gonna have to order on Amazon. And I would actually get my mom's input too, because she really wanted to buy like multiple presents. She didn't want to do one big present. She wanted to do multiple. So I'd have to be like, okay, well, then she should maybe get these things. So I'd talk with my mom and have a spreadsheet, add it up. This is what my mom's getting. This is what I'm getting, and track it for each child. And then I would do the purchasing and wrap it up. And I tried to get most of the purchasing done before Thanksgiving. I know
Mm,
that sounds crazy, but I just hated the idea that something might be gone
yeah.
because there's like a rush afterwards. And I mean, I'm a crazy planner, so that's fine. But then I would do the wrapping, through December. Now my kids help wrap. And so that makes life easier as well. The joy of having teens and young adults instead of little ones to have to hide all the presents from.
Yes, it is. There are perks for sure. How about you, Lisa?
So we operate generally like our basis starts with this whole poem, something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And sometimes we'll do a theme. Like one year we got the kids iPads. And so all those items were to do with the iPad. So the wear was like the case. But other years it's a little bit more flexible. My kids like to create wish lists and they're constantly changing. And it's fun to see what they're interested in. And sometimes they surprise me, but we usually follow that framework. Then my husband usually will go with me when we go to shop. He'll add to it because he'll go, "Oh, I remember I had that as a kid. I think the boys really like that, or I really think our daughter would like this." And so that's been really fun the last few years to have his input and active participation in the purchasing. Our first 8 or so years, he didn't do that because he was busy working, and he's a little bit more flexible now. So that's how we start it, and it's just really fun.
Do you actually go to an actual store to buy things? Like,
Sometimes, yes. I have found some really killer Lego deals at Walmart
oh,
that you didn't see on their website, but I found some really killer deals in there for Legos because my kids love Legos, obviously. It's fun because then he can wander and he can get ideas and add to the list.
My boys do their own research about the best place to buy things. This has this bundle. This needs to be ordered from Best Buy. This we need to go to Walmart. And I'm like, thank you. That really helps. 'Cause they want the best deal too, because they know that they're the budget. So they're like, I want to get the most out of these budget dollars. So, and then they'll go in on presents together sometimes too. This is me for both of us. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I know I've tried a lot of different things over the years. Like I've tried Trello boards where I think of things ahead of time and that's in one column. And then it's like, move it over when you buy it, move it over when you wrap it kind of thing. But no list works unless you look at it. And I would set it up and then usually stop referring to it about halfway through the process. And so the last couple of years, I'm like, you know what? No one else looks at my planner. No one's going through my planner. I'll just use one of the back pages and make an actual list. And sometimes it gets reworked, but I have a list of the people that we need to get something for. And I'll have like ideas. And then as I buy them, I'll, just make some market. Getting over the perfectionism of no, it has to look nice all the time and it has to be consistent. Like, no, just like writing down my thoughts. So it's basically an ongoing brain dump. And if it starts to look too messy and it makes me crazy, I'll just turn the page and make another one, like redo it and thinking through it again. But that actually takes less time than keeping a perfectly systematized list.
I actually keep my list on my phone in the notes app. So I'll have each category and then below it, I'll have ideas. And then as I buy it, I'll put it on that category list. So then I know what I've purchased, who needs which category, different things like that. And then when that gets overwhelming and I need to share it with my husband, I'll write it out because that can help me solidify ideas and just clean it up a little bit more.
Mhm. Yeah, never underestimate the power of just a list. And really, a spreadsheet is just a list too, a list within columns. So, Lisa, how about when do you go shopping? And if you're going to physical stores, is that like a December activity or, um, how do you make sure things happen so that there's time for orders to arrive on time and figuring all of that out?
It totally depends. This is where my husband's lack of planning has like really rubbed off on me. When we first got married, I was like super planned. I had to have every plan. And he was like, I don't know what a plan is. What's a plan? What is this word? And it's really rubbed off, apparently. It really depends on the year. Sometimes I'll go the week after Thanksgiving. I try to avoid any stores the day after Thanksgiving. That's just me. I've done the after Thanksgiving shopping. I did it for a few years and it was fun, but it's not something I need to repeat more. I try to do it in the first few weeks of December. And that way I have time to order something if I can't find it in store. Some things I can know ahead of time. This is where I'm going to get it online and I can order it ahead of time, which is nice because then it's in a box already and it's hidden. I don't have to sneak it into the house.
Unless they ship things in the box, packaging box, which it seems like they're doing more and more of.
This is true.
All right, the other big piece of pulling off holidays is the food. Thanksgiving is just pretty much about getting together to eat. And of course, Christmas has its food as well. So, how do you guys host or take things to other places? And how do you pull together a big holiday meal without having that last minute panic?
Well, I personally love to cook these meals. Like I'm one of those weird people. I just love cooking them. But we typically just eat as our family. And so we don't we do have family here, but they have their own traditions because didn't live here for so long. And so we're not necessarily part of them. So we have our own traditions where we just eat by ourselves, which is totally fine because I love cooking them. They're my favorite meals of the year to cook. And I actually keep an index card and it actually lives on my fridge. I should find a better home for it. But this way I don't lose it. I've been known to lose things. So it lives on my fridge and it is my menu for Thanksgiving. We don't always make everything that's on the card, but it gives us a framework to start with, and we can add and take things out. We do start buying Costco pumpkin pies as soon as they're available, and we'll eat them throughout the season. It's a favorite of mine and my children. It's something we do all year, well, all fall. But yeah, and then my menu card has lists where I can find the recipe for each item. So I don't have to go searching or go, now who gave me that recipe and I can't remember how to do it. I've learned from that mistake as well. So
How about you, Stephanie?
So we have been getting together with my brother and his family ever since we moved to Texas, but it's just the two families. So it's been 10 to 12 people, depending on if there are significant others coming for children. Since it's just the two of us, that means I do actually have to bring quite a bit. Like they handle the main course and some other sides, but it's not like I can just show up and be like, oh yeah, I'm bringing them this year. And now I'm generally bringing several items. We are the kind of people that make the same thing every year, generally speaking. So what normally happens is I have a keep note, Google Keep Note, and I just go and search for that particular holiday. So like next month, I'll go searching for Thanksgiving and I'll find the list and it will say Thanksgiving 2024. I'll take that list and copy it and then I will change it to say 2025. It has a purchase list. It has the things I'm going to be bringing so that I can text my sister-in-law to make sure, oh, yeah, this is what we're bringing this year. And then it has also the prep list, what I need to do the day before and the day of, and the bring list, what needs to go in a cold bag. Because you leave and you couldn't see the item in the fridge and suddenly you leave without it, right? So I have all these lists and I was actually thinking as I was preparing for this podcast, it's actually kind of inconvenient to be in a keep note because I have all these things that I'm doing and it would be better to be in like, multiple files and like a spreadsheet. But the thing is I'm going back and forth between preparing the food, like using recipes that I might link to in Google Keep unless I know it's just in my drive. But I'm going back and forth between the recipes and the keep note all the time, like on my phone. So that's the most convenient thing to do. I'm just going back and forth from one to the other. Okay, I've done this. Oh, now I need to do this. Okay, let me click on the link to go to the recipe and I will take care of this. And I can go back and check it off on my Google Keep Note. So that's how I handle the meals to make sure that, that we don't forget anything and I don't forget what the heck I did last year, right? Like just copy and paste and change the year on it so I know it's up to date. And then I can also go back and check because I'll do things like, oh, well, I'm going to start bringing a crisp instead for Thanksgiving. And then I'll just change the fruit. Like last year was cherry. This year I'm going to do blueberry or whatever, right? And I can see on the list, like, oh, last year I obviously bought canned apple, pie filling. So now I can buy something different or I can choose to do the same thing. But it helps give a record of the slight changes that we might make, even though we make mostly the same thing every time, which would like everybody, that's what they want. They want the same thing actually for the
Yeah.
most part.
So that's one note where the most recent just gets copied and pasted to the top, but it's all in one note.
No. So like if I were to go in my Google Keep, there'd be a note that says Thanksgiving 2023, like separate notes for each year. So I'm just copying it for that year, making the little changes. So I can go back and see all the other years, but it's like, yeah, I wouldn't want a checklist. It's long enough when it's just one year. It's like, you've checked off 40 items. Like, yes, I have. That's right. So I don't need getting longer and longer. So, and then it's also by holiday. So I have a whole nother one that says Christmas 2024 that I will copy this year. And the same thing for Easter.
Yeah. I have an Apple Note, but the same thing where I can search Thanksgiving and it pulls up all of them and I can look and see because ours, changes depending on the family situation. There were years that we hosted, then the last few years my sister-in-law has hosted. And so what I'm asked to bring could be different, but I can look and see what it was other years or, maybe we'll do it on Thursday or on Friday, or maybe it's going to be 2 days. Like it changes. But to have that record to go back to and say, oh, well, we did this last year, to just not have to think things up from scratch is so helpful. And the same goes for Christmas and Easter. That's a good point too. But having that record and when you host, especially having okay, what can be done ahead of time and when do I need to start cooking the turkey or whatever. There was a year my husband fried the turkey, and then that was like, okay, what do we, different ingredients, different timing, and all of that.
Yeah, we do our own Christmas Eve dinner. So just our family, but I have a note for that because that's the time when I might experiment with something. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to be bringing experiments to people's houses.
Mhm.
That's my time to have fun. Of like, hey, I'd love to try this thing for the holiday. I need a holiday time to try it on. So that's what we do Christmas Eve. So it's like I've experimented with brownie bottom cheesecake and stuff like that and kind of reworked a few things over the years. But that's what I do Christmas Eve is the experimenting. Like you're saying, like, we're gonna fry turkey. How does this actually work? You have to do like all this thinking ahead of time and stuff. That's Christmas Eve for us. But then it's for only like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I have a list for Christmas. Um, I have a list of what are our family Christmas treats, like the cookies and everything. For a lot of years, we had like 1 or 2 weeks where I just made all the cookies because there was a church event that I was making cookies for. So, like, I have a lot of experience with a lot of cookies, and so now I have a list, like, these ones are our family favorites, these are the ones I wanna have, and yeah, with a note for each of the recipes so that I don't even have to go to the food blog where we have to scroll through all the words and all the ads. It's like, I copy and paste the recipe right here. And it's just so nice to have that thinking done ahead of time. And really, for something to be a tradition, that means doing it more than once, right? So repeating and reusing those plans that we've done before actually helps it be a holiday tradition and create those family traditions. The holidays bring so many more details into our life, and we want to get them right. We want to maintain a cheerful demeanor and cheerful atmosphere during the holidays, especially. But it's harder because there's just more plates to spin, more things to do. And the answer is not to cut back so that there's not so much to do. The answer is to learn how to juggle those things cheerfully. And that's why inside Convivial Circle, we are doing a holiday planning masterclass November 10th. You can find out all about it by going to simplyconvivial.com/holiday. That's simplyconvivial.com/holiday. In this masterclass, we are going to take an hour and a half together and quickly put together a plan for a convivial family holiday season. Thanksgiving, Christmas, the whole spread. We will get some plans on paper and know how to move forward without feeling overwhelmed. simplyconvivial.com/holiday so you can repent, rejoice, repeat.